Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to the part 3, the last part in the end of term 3 exam. This is writing. There are only 3 questions, but they carry a lot of marks because they are totally of 20 marks. And then there is 2 bonus questions as well, which can be any topic what we have learned throughout the term 3. If you want to know more about those topics, you can go to the playlist on the regular lessons of term 3, which I've uploaded already. You can go through them. Now we will focus on the main 3 topics that have been mentioned to you. And the first topic over here, the 21st topic, is to divide polynomials by synthetic division. But they have mentioned over here the topic 5 to 16. And if you look closely, 5 to 16 includes long division and synthetic division. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do both of the methods, not only synthetic division, the long division as well. Synthetic division was already done before in the previous topics, but I will do the long division, then I will go to synthetic division. Here now, comparison of long division and real numbers and of real numbers and polynomials. This is just a basic understanding of comparing simple numbers and polynomials. What's the difference? Now imagine you have been asked to divide 288 by 3. What's going to happen? So you write this symbol over here, you write whatever you are to divide, and the divisor which is being divided by, that is 288 divided by 3. This 3 is the divisor, this is the dividend. So divisor, dividend, we write them. And then we see for the numbers over here, is this first digit 2 less than 3? Yes. If so, then take 2 digits from here. So 28, is it less than 3? No. 3 is less than 28. So then you can start dividing. You have to take 9, which is the closest to divisible number to 28. So if you know the tables of 9 times is 27. So it is just one difference. We write 27 and then change the sign here and then subtract and write 1. But it's not over. There's one number remaining which comes down now. That bring it down to 8, and now write this over here 6, and you can see 8 3 times 6 is 18. The remainder is 0. This is what we have done in long ago. Been a grade 4 and 5, you have done this method. Now here it's not very much different. Basically you take the terms which is divisible and divide this, right? Same thing. Look over here. Here it changes a little bit. Look at this term and divide the first term only, not the entire term, only the first term. Okay, here we take the entire term. Over here we see only this first terms. X squared divided by this term is equal to x. So that means you need to multiply this by x to get x squared. Or else you can think like this. What do you have to multiply this term with to get x squared? To equate these two terms, it is by x. So divisor dividend. Now this x, multiply it over here, you're going to get x squared minus x. What does this mean? It's x times x is x squared. Don't forget there's one more term which you need to multiply with my x. It'll be minus x over here. Next, what do? Here you change the sign. Over here we change the sign, it's the entire number, but here there are two terms. So we change the sign individually. For this minus, and this minus becomes plus. Now solve it. The intention of changing sign is to cancel this. Now it's cancelled, right? Over here what happens is plus x minus 4x will be minus 3x. It's not over. Now bring this term down. You bring this down, and now you need to multiply this by minus 3 to equate it. X times minus 3 will become minus 3x. Minus 3 times minus 3 is plus 3. Now change the signs over here, plus and minus. Both cancels off. You know, they are the same thing. It will just become plus over here. Plus and minus becomes 0. This plus and minus becomes 0. The remainder is 0. That's how we do it. Now this is a very simple problem. Now we will look into, this is the answer, the quotient. Okay. Now we will look into a, like a proper problem. Here this is the divisor, the bigger number, the first number is the dividend. Write them, use the steps of long division. Write the dividend inside, divise outside. What do you have to multiply this x term to get x squared? It's x. So multiply x times x is x squared, 4 times x is 4x. Change the signs and now solve it. Here you're going to get this is cancels and minus becomes add and write the negative sign. 5 and 4 will be minus 5 and minus 4 will be minus 9x. Bring this down over here. It'll be minus 36. Now do the same thing. What do you have to multiply x to get negative 9x? If you're getting confused, just divide this over here, divided by x. This x cancels, what's remaining? Minus 9. So you have to multiply by add minus 9 term and multiply x by minus 9. You'll get minus 9x. 4 times minus 9 is minus 36. They are the same terms, so when you subtract each other, it will be 0. That's the answer. The quotient is x minus 9. That is it. The remainder is 0 over here. Let's try one more over here. Same thing. Dividend is above term, divisor is over here. But now look, this is a bit complicated because it's just not multiplying z or x or single term. You need to look carefully. You need to multiply 3z power 2 to get, because this is only z power 1. So 3z power 2, multiply this, you're going to get the first term same. Our main intention is to cancel this term and reduce these. Minus 5 times 3 is negative 15, z squared. Change the signs, this first term cancels. Over here you'll get only plus z squared. Why? Because 15 minus 14 is 1 z squared. Now bring this minus 7z down, and then now what do you need to multiply? It's only z. So z multiplied by z is z squared, and minus 5 times z is minus 5z. Solve it again. The first term gets cancelled. Z squared cancels because it's negative and plus. Over here you will have minus 2 because minus 7 plus 5 is minus 2z. Bring the next term down. What do you have to multiply now? Minus 2. Minus 2 times z would be a minus 2z, and minus 5 times minus 2 is plus 10. Look carefully. First term cancels off. What happens over here? Minus 10 plus 3 is minus 7. You are getting some remainder. Now, this is the answer, the quotient. 3z squared plus z minus 2. But there is some remainder. How do we write it is, basically write the quotient first, whatever is there. And then you need to write this term divided by the divisor. The remainder divided by the divisor. That is what we do. See, 3z squared plus z minus 2 minus 7 divided by the divisor z minus 5. Now this is your final answer. You can see this and over here. The remainder. So this is the final answer. This is your quotient, remainder, but write it accordingly. This would be the answer. So they usually prefer it, see, like this. You can see over here. They write it remainder divided by the divisor. So this is for you guys. You have to do the long division method over here. They have mentioned the long division. So please solve this by yourselves and then check the answer. If you're thinking, what is this power minus 1? It's nothing. It means it's division. D squared plus 4d plus 3 divided by d plus 1. This is your divisor. So please do them by yourself and then check for the answers. They have mentioned 5 to 10 is from long division. These 6 problems are from long division. I hope this is clear. If not, please pause the video and go back again. And if you have any doubts, put in the comment section. Now then, we will go to synthetic division. Now, here we will use synthetic division. There are few steps you must remember. Synthetic division is only possible when it's a binomial. And one more thing is, there are certain things you must follow. Say, for example, x plus 3. You need to equate this to 0 and find what is the x value. It is minus 3. So minus 3 is very important. You must write it over here. Or you can just take it as a thumb rule. Whatever this number, change its sign and write. This number x plus 3, write minus 3. That's it. Write all the coefficients now. 3, minus 2, minus 53, everything over here. And then all you need to do is, see, this is a same step. Bring this term down, write it. You need to multiply this term with this and write the answer over here. What is happening? Minus 3 times 3 is minus 9. I'll repeat it. Solve this now. Add this. What's the answer you're going to get? Minus 11. Now, whatever the answer is down, you need to multiply this minus 3 with this and write over here. That will be 33 because negative 3 times negative 11 is positive 33. Add these two terms. Just add them. Doesn't matter the sign, no changing sign, just add them. It'll be minus 20. Now, this multiplied whatever is down over here and then write the answer over here. It's 60. The answer is 0. Always remember the last term, this line is drawn for the last term, is a remainder. The remaining terms are the factors. You start with the remainder. Don't write any coefficient over here. This is a constant value. This is x and this will be x squared. Always look at the dividend. It was 3x cubed. It will reduce by 1. It depends on the binomial. Because in synthetic division there is only binomials. It will be reduced by 1. Now, again, let's see. This is the quotient, 3x squared, which I've written over here. I've written 3x squared minus 11x minus 20. It's very simple if you follow the method. Now, let's look into one more problem. All you need to do is over here now, there is a little difference. Always the leading coefficient of the divisor must be 1. So this must be 1. What do? There is 2x minus 2, right? Don't worry, just divide everything by 2. But you can't just divide the denominator, even the numerator. Divide everything by 2 over here. So you're going to get 2x to the power 4. 37 divided by 2 is 18.5x squared. 4 by 2 is 2. 9 by 2 is 4.5. Here it will be 2x divided by 2 is x minus half. Now you can tell what is the x value. X equals positive half. So write this. Positive half is 0.5 over here. And then write the coefficients. These are the coefficients. 2, 0, negative 18, all that. Why 0? Because there is no x to the power 3. That's why we write 0. Now, again the same method. First term comes down. Multiply this over here. Write the answer over here. So 1. Add these both terms. 1. Multiply over here. It's 0.5. Add these both. Negative 18. Multiply. 9 minus 9. Add these both. Minus 7. Multiply. It'll be negative 3.5. Add 1 is the remainder. Don't worry, we have already written. See, write these coefficients. Now we are constant x squared, x cubed. See, the power 4 reduces by 1. It's power 3, highest degree over here. 2x to the power 3, x squared minus 18x minus 7. Now, what about the remainder? 1 divided by the divisor, x minus half. Or you can do one thing. What you need to do is just multiply over here by 2 and over here by 2. Only for this term. Because this is basically 1, isn't it? You're not doing anything wrong. You're just manipulating this. So this numerator becomes 2. Denominator becomes 2x minus half into 2 is 1. So you can write this. You're not done anything wrong. It's basically this 1 is for this denominator, but you can multiply both the sides by 2 and get 2. This is it. That is the answer. So it's a very simple method. You should know the trick. You know how it goes. See, what happens is synthetic division saves your time considerably. Long division took us so long, but the synthetic division saves a lot of time. That's it. So please do try these by yourselves. Look over here. These are all simple, but now this one you need to divide entire above. I think so. It's the same. No. Above term and the below term must be divided by 2, and then over here you must divide both the terms by 3 and then solve it up. Other all are very straightforward. Please do solve it up and then check the answers. If you have remainder over here, make sure you divide by the divisor. If there is remainder 0, then just this is the answer. We saw in the previous problem. If the remainder is 0, it's something like this. Otherwise, you'll have the remainder divided by the divisor. That is the end of the division. I've not just done synthetic division, I've done long division as well. The reason is because 5 to 16 is mentioned in the Heikel, the exam scheme. And the first few problems were long division, and the next over here were synthetic divisions. If you have any doubts, please post them in the comments. And in the next section, we will do the topic number 22. The 22nd topic for the end of term 3 exam is factoring. This is to solve polynomials by factoring. Looks very simple, but there can be many different types of questions in this. 1 to 15, we will solve each type of them. But there is one more important thing, that is the formulas, the kanun. It is very important for you to remember these. If you're summing two cubes, a cube plus b cube, it would be a plus b bracket a squared minus ab plus b squared. If it is a cube minus b cube, it will be a minus b. Look over here. If it's plus this small term over here, a plus b will be plus. If it's minus, it'll be minus. Now, if it is minus over here, then inside the other terms, a squared plus ab plus b squared will all be positive. Whereas look over here, this is positive, but over here you will have negative when you multiply the a and b term. So this is it. Now, a will vary. It can be 2x, 3z or anything. Based on that, you must write. And there are a few more over here. Uh, Basic formulas, some of this you might have known already. We will come across most of this, how to group and everything. You don't need to worry. These two, very important, and the perfect square you must always remember. A plus b the whole square, a minus b the whole square, a square minus b square. These are the 5 formulas. Please take a note of these, because this is not only now, every time in your next grade or in the grade 12 you will have to know. Maybe this and this may not be used so much in later on, but the others will be used. Now then, we need to factor each polynomial. If the polynomial cannot be factored, write prime. Now look over here, 8x cubed 125y to the power 12. Now when you look at this, look at the highest degree, that is 12. Look at the lowest degree, it is 3. So what you must understand in your mind is, you need to get in terms of cube, because then we can use the cube formula. Just now we saw, right? Sum of cubes or difference of cubes formula. So now how can you resolve this? Since these numbers, most of the time it will be much easier to predict. Now here, 2 cube is 8, x cube plus, what is 125? It is 5 cube. 5 times 5 is 25. 125, 25 times 5 is 125. Then lastly, we have y12. We can't write this, right? We need to have cube outside, because everything needs to be cubed outside. So inside, try to adjust. 12 divided by 3 would be 4. So y to the power 4 whole power 3 would make it 12. So this is how you simplify it. This is very, very important. Now you can see over here, you have just, see, this can be written as 2x the whole cube. Even over here, you can write 5y to the power 4 the whole cube. Why? Because both is having cube. What is having cube? This factor and this factor. So you can write it inside the bracket because both are cubed. Now that's how we get this statement. Now we can use the formula, isn't it? Just simply apply the formula which we had just seen a while ago. It is, I think so, the formula, okay, it's sum of two cubes. I'll write the formula. It is a plus b, because there is plus, then we must write a square minus ab plus b square. Very, very important. A plus b is 2x plus 5y, and 2x square minus 2x into 5y to the power 4 plus 5y to the power 4 the whole square. So that is it. Now then, you can rearrange and solve what you can. 2 square is 4, x square will remain as it is. Now multiply 2 times 5 is 10, and xy to the power 4. And what about 4 to the power 2? Look carefully. Whenever you're having power and you have power over power, again this power, this exponents are multiplied. Okay, you're not taking power of 4 square means 4 to the power 6. No, you're just multiplying this power 8. Whereas if it was y square y cube, then you just add the powers, it would be y5. Here, if it would have been plus y squared, then it would have been y to the power 6. This is the difference. You must understand this. Since over here y power 4 whole power 2, we multiply the powers and get this answer. Now, that's it. Basically, that's the simplification. You can't go further. You have already simplified, so that's enough. Similarly, you can try this problem. Now, here, okay, this is a little bit tricky because you might think, okay, we have done this, right? What we will do, we will take y power 2 the whole cube. Yes, you can do it like that. But then the 64 is a problem. What's the problem with 64? You need to write it in terms of 4. And then again, you need to simplify these squares and it'll be much complicated. Instead of that, now you can do one thing. We know 8. Now, sorry. Since 8 is there, it is very easy to remember 8 into 8 is 64. Since it's a huge number, it's not a small number like 2 to the power 3 or 3 to the power 3. No, since this is 8, we will square it because 64 is a perfect square. So we will square this, right? 8 square y to the power 3 the whole square minus, since it's minus, one more reason why we use square. Now, if it was not minus, if it was plus, you had to take it by cubic method. There is no other way. Since there is minus, we know there is a formula a square minus b square. This reduces the power and that is why we need it. Now, y to the power 3 whole 2. All you're doing now is using this identity. Can you see? Now here this can be written as 8x the whole square, that is a minus y cube the whole square. Now this can be written, a is 8x cube, okay, I forgot the cube over here, 8x cube plus y cube, and same thing 8x cube minus y cube. This is a formula which we had to remember. And then now you can use the differences of the square and the sum of squares. That means this can be used like this. See, 2x whole cube. Why? Because 2 to the power 3 is 8. Now then, apply this, 2 to the power 3 plus y. You can, instead of 8, you can write it as 2x to the power 3. And then what do? All you need to do is use the formula sum and differences of cubes. What happens? Here, a plus b, a square minus 2 times ab plus b square. Again over here, a minus b, and then a square minus plus 2xy plus b square. So this is the most simplified form and you can't simplify further. You stop over there. So main thing is, given question needs to be simplified. Even if you don't get the exact simplification, it is fine. It is writing. We'll understand. So write as much as you can. Try to simplify further as much as you can. Okay? And this is the thing. Now then, these are for you. You need to solve them by yourself and then check for the answers. It is very simple. Some of them, similar ones, we have done it already. Now, try it by yourselves and then we will look into the other problems. These are the answers over here. Okay, so these are all the answers. Please solve it by yourself and then check for the answers. You can see there's a repeating pattern. Whenever you're cube directly, it is very easy because this is the pattern. Now over here, since it's square over here, it's squared. It'll be in terms of square you can write. So there's a different sorry, no, you can write it as cube. Over here, what you do is you remove x out. See, x can be removed out. So it'll be 64x power 3 plus y power 3. The whole thing multiplied by x. So you can easily solve this. We have done this already, similar problem. And then you can arrive at that solution. Then you can multiply the x inside. Similarly, please do solve all of this. And then we will continue in the next type of problem. So these are the answers. Let's go to the next. Now, 1 second over here, guys. If you look carefully, see, these coefficients can never ever be resolved. That's the problem. That's why it's prime. Look over here, 8, 24, 64, or there is no coefficients. Whenever they give you number, it will be simple and easy that you can resolve it. Say 8, it is 2 to the power 3. 64, it'll be for, x will be removed out, so it'll be 4 to the power 3. So this is what I'm saying. You need to have, or you can reduce it to, 4 to the power 3. That's the thing over here. Then you will solve it. See, if at all you cannot reduce the power, this is not possible, these coefficients. So you just tell it's prime. It's not possible over there. Okay, we will see this another type of problem. Here they have told factor this. Factor 14ax square minus 16by plus 20cy. This is all the equation. If the polynomial cannot be factored, write prime. Now over here, this is the original expression. What we are doing is, this is a very easy one. You can see x square, x square, x square, y. Let's split those terms. Let's group them into like terms. Wherever x square is there, we have grouped, and wherever y is there, we have grouped. And now remove something common out. How do you remove common? See, if you remove the 7 over here, 7. 7 2 times is 14, 7 4 times is 28, 7 5 times is 5. And over here, x square is common in all, so remove out x square. And then over here, the same thing. Say y is common in all, remove that, and 4 is common in all, remove that. Simplify these two terms as much as possible. Now you can see these two terms are absolutely same, only the inner terms, the coefficients are different. So basically you're removing the same terms again out. The division symbol is, the minus sign divides the two parts. And now when you remove this common out, what is remaining? 7x squared minus 4y. And over here we have 2a plus 4b minus 5y. So this is the thing. This is it. We have simplified this. We are just trying to simplify as much as possible, grouping like terms, removing the terms out, or something like that. So that is how we can solve these. Now this is a simple one. Over here as well, x square and x square. Group them together, remove it out, y squared separately. So please do these by yourself. Over here you can see a cube, b cube, b cube. So it depends. It's not only x, it can be y as well, or any other alphabet. So this is how we solve it. And then once you solve it, please do check your answers over here. So, okay. Okay, now then. Okay, my presentation is getting hanged a bit. Okay, we are back over here. This is another type of problem. We just now did just simplifying, factoring and simplifying. Now we will do solving, basically finding the x value. This is again simple because you have done this before as well. In calculator, you can directly do this and check the answers, but let's see how we do it naturally. Over here, write this, and then what do we do is make them into two separate terms. We split them up. See, now over here these are small degrees, so let's split them up. It's common. See, 9 and 27 have 3 common and everything. Over here you have big powers, so x cube, x squared, that's separated. And then now here, let's see what is common. Very good. That can be, very good in the sense where it is repeating in both the places. Sorry, I was not getting the right word, which is repetitive term. You can see over here, x to the power 2 is there in both these, because x cube and x square both has x to the power 2. So, and over here 4 is also the common term, so you write 4x square bracket x plus 3. Same thing over here. What is the maximum common factor? That is minus 9 only. So when you remove minus 9 common out, what is going to happen? You're removing 9 over here, minus 9. It goes, x is remaining. And over here, you're remaining with positive 3 because minus 9 is divided. So that's the thing. And then we are just grouping them and we equate all this to 0. Now over here you can write it as 2x whole square minus 3 square. It will be 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. And over here we are remaining with x plus 3. Now these can be equated to 0 and solved. Okay, I will just tell you how to solve this. Here you need to split each term and equate it to 0. Split in the sense, write this term separately, make it equal to 0. The next term equal to 0 and this term. And then all you need to do is equate. See, all these are equated. Find x. Take this to the other side. It's going to be x is equal to minus 3 by 2. That is negative 1.5. Why is that so? Because 3 goes to the other side, it becomes minus 3 and divided by 2. Same thing over here. It goes to the other side, it becomes plus 3 divided by 2, and lastly it's minus 3. These will be the x values. You can see over here, minus 3 by 2, plus 3 by 2, and minus 3. You can double check these answers from your calculator. Mode 5, not 3, it is mode 5 and 4. You can try this by yourselves. So now this is how we can do this type of problems. Then it is not over. This is, yeah, very basic. You need to try and group them and then get these factors and equate it to 0. That is zero product property at the last we did. Now, that's the answers. Please do try these by yourselves. Now, you can do it in various different methods. Now, this one over here, you can remove a common. You're remaining with a squared minus 9a plus 14. Now, inside is quadratic. You know how to solve quadratic. Now, from quadratic, you can easily get the two factors and then a. So, answer would be a equals 0 and the other two factors. So this is how we can do it. Try these by yourselves. Now here it's very simple, but please remember to take this inside. It'll be x cubed minus 3x squared and then simplify it. You can remove x squared common out and then solve it. All the answers are over here. So this is it. So one thing, let me just tell you what happens over here. You can take this to the other side. It'll be x cubed minus 3x squared equals 0. Take x squared common out. X squared is outside. It'll be x minus 3 equals 0. What is the answer? X is equal to x squared is equal to 0. X is equal to positive 3. So now this basically reduces to x equals 0, but you must know there is double answer. The 0 is 2 times. It is x is equal to 0, x is equal to 0. Why is that? Because it's x squared. But we write only once, 0 and positive 3. So similarly, please do solve the others. Over here, you can remove b common out and then solve it. Here also, t is removed common out and then you can solve it. If they're asking just the solutions, uh, don't just do it in calculator. Do the methods, what we just now did, and then solve it because it's a writing part. Now, this is still the 14th. Now, let's go to the last type because the last type is a real world problem. Now let's look over here in the figure. The small cube is 1/4 the length of the larger cube. Can you see the small cube is 1/4 the larger cube? Or over here, since the figure is given, they have told this is 4x, this is x. The small cube is 1/4. That means if this is 1/4 x, the other one is, this one will be x. Okay, other one would be x. Now you can multiply both the sides by 4. This cancels. You will get 4x over here and this will be x. It's the same thing. And then the volume of the figure is given as 1701 cubic centimeters. What are the dimensions of the cube? Now here, see, look at this. The small cube is the hollow space. So the entire cube, if you just cube this or find the volume, 4x into 4x into 4x, that will be 4x the whole cube. You'll get the entire volume. Okay, entire thing. But you do want this hollow space. So remove that out. What do you do is subtract it by x cube. That must be given as 1701. Now you can easily solve it up. So over here, what's going to happen? 64 x cube minus x cube. Now over here, you can just solve it how? 64 x cube minus x cube. This is 1, right? 64 minus 1 is 63 x cube. Now take 63 to the other side. You're dividing this by 63. 1701 divided by 63 is 27. Last, take cube root on both these sides. You can easily understand 3 cube is 27. So if you take cube root over here, the answer would be 3. Or you can, okay, now over here, this is done in a huge method, but instead of that, all that, you know there'll be only one answer over here because others are all imaginary. What you can do is x cube equals 27. And what is x? X is basically cube root over here, not square root, cube root. It'll be x equals 3. Okay, it'll be positive 3. That would be the answer. Now, even if you solve it other ways, you're going to get the imagined number 3 is the only real solution. So, answer is 3. And now, very important thing. This is 3. What is the dimension of the big one? 3 times 4, it'll be 12 over here. So dimension of the cubes, both the cubes, the small one is 3, the big one is 4. You need to find the x value and then substitute and solve. So that is how we do it. Now there is real world over here as well. Let us see this. What have they asked over here? A modern table is constructed with 4 legs made of concrete cubes with cube-shaped notches. Okay. Define one or more variable and write an expression that represents the volume of the one table leg. Okay, I just now, we just now saw the answer, but over here, how we write this is, it's very simple. Now, they have just told, see, this is one main leg, this is of concrete cube, and this is uh, modern table is constructed concrete cube, and these are the notches. So you can see over here, if you look carefully, this concrete cube is the one, see, in gray color, that is the concrete cube. And there is a small cube, hollow cube, that is the notch. So how do you write it in different variables? That is right, take a length, say for example, this over here, this length, you can take it as x of the concrete cube because it's a cube. So all the dimensions are same. What does cube mean? Cube means all the sides are same, right? This is a cube. Okay, the dimensions are same. Okay, that's okay. This is okay. Uh, Let me just go back over here. We have a beautiful cube. What happens? Length, width, and height is the same thing. Sorry, height, length, and width is the same dimension. So that is what over here. If you assume this to be x, and then what do we get? X, x, and x. So this is x cube for the concrete block, but there is a hollow space. So let's take this hollow space notch as y. So it'll be y minus y minus y. So it is minus y cube. That's it. So this is how we get it. Now let's look into the second type of second over here. Here it says Marisol determined that she will use 12,636 cubic inches of concrete to construct the 4 table legs. If the sides of the notches are 40% of the sides of the legs, how long are the sides of the legs? Now it's very simple, but you need to understand everything properly. First of all, they have told this concrete cubes, right? And this notches together for all the 4 legs will be so much. Okay? And they have told this notch, can you see this notches, right? They are 0.4%, sorry, 40%. That means 0.4 times. If the total length is 10, this will be 4. So that is what it means. So how can we understand better? We can write, see now this is x cube. Now this was just for the legs, right? It was just for the concrete leg. Now notches are excluded. Now we are including everything because for the entire thing, for now x cube and y cube was there. Sorry, let me write y cube. Y, this y length would be equal to 0.4 times x because that is what they have told, 40% of the x, right? 40% of it. So y will be equal to 0.4x. Now a new equation would be x cube plus, I'll tell you why it's plus in a minute, 0.4 x cube. 0.4, it's y, the whole cube. That must be equal to what? Now, why is this plus? See, they have told to construct the 4 legs of the sides of the... Okay, now this is the total thing for the entire leg. So you have to include everything. They're not just asking, the only this, say, excluding the notches or anything. Over here, they are told what is with the cube notch. They have told, separate. Where is it? One second. volume of the table leg. Over here, they are told to exclude it, like in the sense we have to write as an equation. So concrete cubes and the notches separately. But now we are dealing with the total volume, isn't it? This is the total volume. But now this is the total volume for all the four legs. How would you find the volume for each leg? So 12636 is basically for the entire thing. You must divide this by 4. What is the answer? 12636 divided by 4 would give you 3159. So 3159 is for each block. And this dimension, what we are writing, is for each block. So that is what we are going to do. 3159. Now don't directly use your calculator and solve. You can use it, I believe. Yeah, you can. We can just try x cube plus 0.4x, close, open the brackets over here, and let's use the cube, equals 3159. Shift and solve, you must get the answer. It is 15.19. Okay, it's very close because it's, you can't take half or something, so approximate it, because you can't take less concrete. If you take 14, it would be an error, because whenever you're constructing something, you would rather take more than less. So this would be the most appropriate answer. But the exact one is over here. Now this is not over. How would you solve manually without the calculator directly? So it's very simple. X cube over here. Now let's see 0.4 cube. That is 0.4 times 0.4 is 0.16 times 0.4 will be 0.064. X cube equals 3159. You must write the step, and then this is x cube plus, okay, let me just do it. This is 1x cube plus 0.0064. That would mean this is 1.064x cube equals 3159. Now all you need to do is you should write in steps. Take this to the other side. It'll be 3159 divided by 1.064, that is equal to 2968. But that is not over, that is x cube. You need to take the radical of both, cube root, sorry, of both of this answer basically after dividing this, and then the answer would be shift and answer. I'll just put the answer is so much. So over here I have not done the step. This will go to the other side. Basically this will be 1.064, and then the x value will be 14.5. That is almost to 15. So this is how you basically solve this problem. Now understand what is being asked and then solve it. Only concept over here would be understanding it's 0.4x. That is the thing, and then you can easily solve it up. So that's the thing. Over here, sorry, the same question is being repeated over here. I forgot to delete it over there. But anyways, so that's the same thing. You need to divide this total volume by 4, and then you would get the answer. So make sure you understand, read the question properly, put the correct variables, and then solve it. Don't directly do it in the calculator. This is the writing part. Please make sure you solve it by writing. That's the end of this topic. There were 15 questions and 3 different types. Please go through each type properly because they are not same. They might vary. So please go through them properly, write and practice, and then be thorough with it. The next video would be the final video for this end of term 3 exam. We have reached the final topic, the last topic in the term 3 final exam. Before I continue with the topic, I just want to say that I hope you're benefiting from these videos. I can see many comments. I'm very grateful for them because I can see many of you are asking genuine doubts. That means you're learning. Sometimes it takes me a while to get back to you. I'm sorry for that, but I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And just not watching the videos, I want you even to practice it, write and study. Whenever asked to pause the video, please do pause and try it by yourself and then look for the answers. So I hope you're doing the revision very well. Not only just watching the video, even by yourself, you need to practice more and more problems. I want to thank all of you, those who like my videos, who share my videos, who are subscribed to my channel. Every single like, every single subscriber, it means a lot to me. Thank you so much, and I appreciate all of you guys. Now we will go to the last topic. It is about radicals, and it's just adding, subtracting, or multiplying radicals. It's not that difficult, it's easy, but you should know what is radical. Radical is something like this. This is a radical symbol. Now it can be it's called a root symbol as well. It can be a square root if the power is 2, or if it's nothing, it's considered to be 2. It can be an odd radical when it's 3. It can be 4, 5, anything. Now let's see how we will solve this. You're asked to simplify all at once. Anyways, sorry, my animation didn't work well. Over here, you must make sure you can simplify these values. How do we simplify? Is basically, now look over here, 45, right? How can you factor 45? There are various ways to factor 45. One is 9 by 5. The first option that pops to my mind is 9 by 5 because it's having 5. How many times 5? 5 times 9 times 5 is 45. This is the most prominent factor you will get, rather than 15 times 3 is also 45. But okay, if you're thinking about 15 times 3, look over here, you can't get anything as square. This will be a roadblock. So avoid this one. Take another term. Now when I see over here 9, I can write this as 3 square into 5. Now 5 can't be reduced any further, whereas 9 can be reduced as 3 square. So the 6 is out. Over here, you're reducing this by like this. Now same way over here, 4 times 3. 12 is 4 times 3, and you can write 4 as 2 square times 3. 20 is again 4 times 5. So you need to try and dissolve them into smaller factors, and you need to make sure some of the terms can be removed out of the square root. Now if you look carefully, this radical can be splitted. We directly do many steps, but in fact these are all the steps, exact steps. Use the product property of radicals. Basically, this one can be split separately. Okay, now over here you can see this radical cancels with this, whereas over here you can't simplify. This will remain as it is. Square root 5, no, you will get a rational, you will get a decimal number which will be recurring, so don't, just keep it like that. And x will always remain. See, in the last answer also it will just be like that. It might change if you have other terms with the same radical. Let's see the other terms. Over here, square root 2 square, this cancels, it will be just 2 root 3. Here it's 6 multiplied by 3 root 5x, 2 root 3. What about the last term? Minus 3. This becomes 2 root 5. What next? You can see there is root 5 and root 5 over here same. So this is important. Before that, let's multiply all this inside. 6 times 3 is 18, root 5, 2 root 3. See, this root 3 will not be touched because there is no other term that has having 2 root 3. So that will be there in the final answer directly. Whereas over here, this is minus 6 root 5. Now you can do 18 minus 6. What is the answer? 12. So 12 root 5x plus 2 root 3. It is just simple simplifications. That is it. This is how we get the answer. That's the answer. Now you can easily solve them. They're not difficult. They are very, very easy. Now if you're thinking, what just happened over here? Look, they are just simplified it. This root 2 will not change. Whereas this one is 4 root 2. Look, I'll write over here. 8 is 4 times 2. And now 4 is basically 2. So you can write this as 2 square and it goes out 2 root 2. Okay, you need to plus. Now what about 50? You need to think of few factors over here. You can think various factors. Now one factor is 25 into 2. Isn't it? Why 25? Because 25 is root 5. So I can write 5 root 2. And now look at this. All are in terms of root 2. Well and good. I can easily simplify this. 5 plus 2 is how much? 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. So it will be 8 root 2. Yes, that's the answer. So this is how you simplify it. Do it for all the others by yourself. If it's minus, you need to subtract. If it's plus, you need to add it up. Sometimes you may not get all as the same radical. Sometimes it may vary. But here, see now, for example, here, your root 7x and 14, these cannot be solved. They'll remain as it is. Just now we solved this problem, right? Here also, there are two terms which cannot be solved. So it depends. Now, if it's numbers, it's pretty easy. You can just resolve, and you can also try using your calculator. So what you can do is you can check. You need to do the steps, at least 3-4 steps, but you can check the answer in your calculator easily and confirm. That's the thing. Um, Now then, over here again, this animation is a problem. But anyways, you're multiplying. Fine, it's very simple, just that these numbers will be multiplied outside. You can see this 4 and 3 will be multiplied outside. Now over here, since the radical is having the same power, it's very simple. All of this can be written inside, but make sure you're multiplying this with this. So you can see the radical is same, minus 10x squared y to the power 6 into 16y power 4 y power 4, x power 4 and y power 4. Now what do you do is you need to simplify the 10, right? Radical 10, it must be simplified. And one more thing, remember, it doesn't matter there is minus 1 or plus 1, because it's an odd power. It's not imaginary, it is proper, okay, because it's odd power. Now then, here 10 is 5 times 2. Okay, that's what it's splitted, and this minus can be written as minus 1. Now look over here, this minus 1 can be split out. Minus 1, sorry, all of them can be split out, right? What is the answer? If you put in the calculator, you will get as negative 1. So that is why we write it and we take it out. See, the final answer will have negative over here. So that's the answer, is it? Okay, again this is hanging, I believe. Anyways, I'll just tell you over here. It is 4 times 3, 12. This radical, we are just multiplying. Then 12 over here is the answer. And now we are splitting all this. Minus 1 is important, so we can remove it out. And what about this x squared, y to the power 4, everything? Okay, I forgot about the 16. What is 16? Now 16 you can write in various ways. The simplest among all is, now since you are 1 2 over here, 16 is 2 to the power 4. You must remember this, because this 2 to the power 4, even 2 to the power 5, you need to keep in your mind. Or you can just easily, just put it in the calculator and find, because these are some important terms, because they'll come handy many times. Okay, 2 to the power 5 is basically 32. Now over here you have 2 and 2 to the power 4. The power adds up, you will have 2 to the power 5 term. So now basically this and this cancels out and you will get a 2 outside. That is the reason why we are doing that. And what about these powers? Always remember this variables. Always remember, whenever you are having variables, you add the power. When you multiply two variables, you add the powers. See, 6 plus 4. Now what is happening is you must be very conscious on this outside radical number. So your main goal is to get everything in terms of 5. Now don't just add this, 4 plus 2 will be 6. No, I will write it as 6 to the power 5 into 6. Why? Because this can be removed out, isn't it? This cancels off and you will get the answers x radical this thing 5. So that's the reason. So you can see the final over here answer. The same thing, what happens is y10, that is fine because it's a multiple of 5. So basically, this is, you will have 2y5 and over here again, y5. So this is what we are doing. Now you will have two of these terms. So that is why we keep them in terms of multiples of 5, because the radical is 5 over here. And then all you need to do is simplify. You can see over here this is simplified, simplified everywhere. And now wherever the this can be solved, over here this cancels off, this remains, whereas this x and x to the power 5 and root 5 will cancel, and this will be 2. So you're remaining with so much, And that is basically the answer. Now, this can't be the answer. Okay, this is the answer. Okay, it's simplified. What is simplified basically? All the numbers are multiplied. You can use your calculator over here. Minus 12 times 2 is 24. And here you have x and y squared. And what is remaining inside radical? It's your phi and the x. So it is phi x. That is the answer. So similarly, you can try other problems. You can use your calculator at times just to verify, but do the steps. Now the step over here would be writing 3 into 8, then writing everything together. Okay, 10yz. Now next step would be, what is the answer? We had square root. How can you simplify this? Now, there are many methods. You can do 2 into 5, or you can multiply this 50 and 25 into 2. There are so many, but now the simpler method would be, this can be written as phi, isn't it? It'd be phi into phi into 2. Why? 10 is 5 times 2. And then there is y and y, that is y square and z. Now this phi and to phi is phi square. Now look what and all is removed out. 3 into 8 is 8 3 is a 24. Phi is removed out, multiply by phi, multiply by y, and you're remaining with 2z. So the final answer would be 120. 24 times phi is 120, y root 2z. So that's the answer. Similarly, please do try the others. They are very straightforward. Once you understand the concept, it is really, really straightforward. Okay, then we have some real world problem. These are again same because you're just adding or multiplying, you know. Now you can see over here, there are two trampoline runways at gymnastic practice facility. Both runways are root 3 meters wide. Okay. One is 6 root 3 meter long and the other is 5 root 3 meter. What is the area? Now, how do you find the area? Area is multiplication. So this is the length and you just multiply it over here. Let me do it in the calculator. But now here you must remember one thing. When you read it, you understand both runways. See, now this is one runway and this is one more runway. Okay, this is the running area. They're both root 3 meters wide. This is length. But one of the length, sorry, this is width. Length over here is 5 root 2 and 6 root 3. So the length varies. So you need to solve the total area. That means you need to add this. So your equation would be, you should draw this basically, a simple diagram. And then you need to write the area of this is 5 root 2 into root 3 plus 6 root 3 into root 3. I'll just do it directly in the calculator now. 5 root 2 times root 3 plus, sorry, it should be outside, plus 6 root 3 times root 3. The answer is 18 plus 5 root 6. That's the answer. Now over here, you're just doing, but you need to do it just how we have done. Okay, make sure we do it by the methods. And the last one is a simple one, so you need to do this by yourself. Now, read the problem properly. It says that Jayla walks 5 blocks north. You need to know north, south, east, west. And from here, you need to do a Pythagoras theorem. Okay. Now, since this Pythagoras theorem, I'll just do this because it's not that hard, but I'll do this one. You need to know the diagram. Make sure when you're writing this in the final exam, do the diagram and then solve. Here, north is up, east is right, south is down, and west is left. And let's read this. Jayla walks 5 blocks north. 5 blocks north. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whatever is this distance would be 5. And then 8 blocks east. So over here, imagine this is 8. So you can take this as x and this as y. It's fine. So this over here, 8. So 8 comma 5 would be the coordinates, but that's not required. Now, what else? Get to the library. Okay, now this one and this one. Let me write it clear. Okay, no, let me just change the colors. So let me just remove all the unnecessary things. Okay. Uh, Let me draw it in blue. This is 5 and this one was 8. Okay, this is 5. Now, if Jayla could walk in a straight line to the library instead, how far would it be? So it's just that if this would be the straight distance, straight, the Pythagoras theorem comes over here. What is this x? You can find that by finding the square root of the x-axis and the y-axis. Sorry, x and y, or the other two sides. Because since this is a 90 degrees, this will be a hypotenuse. Whenever you get a direction problems, north, south, east, west, and stuff, it'll be root of 5 square plus 8 square. Just put it in the calculator. You need to write this, and then 5 squared is 25 plus 64. Sorry, 8 squared is 64. You will get square root of 89. Okay, square root 89 is the answer. But is this over? Yes, this is the shortest distance. But they have told one important thing. Each block over here, each block is 5 into root 10. So this is the dimensions, but each block, that 5, the unit is this. So all you need to do is multiply this by 5 root 10. Multiply 10 into 89, it will be 890. So this will be multiply 89 into 5 root 10, and that is your final answer. But you need to write in steps. That's the only thing. A simple diagram and writing this would give you full marks. So this is how you would solve this problem. And that is basically the last problem. That's it for the end of term 3 final exam, all the Heikel topics. There are two more topics which can be anything. That's the bonus topics, anything from um, the term 3 objectives. You can go to the playlist and check some of the videos which I've done for all the lessons. If you have time, please go through them because you can just recall and revise. It's helpful for the bonus, but other than that, the 23 topics, similar topics will come. It may not be the same, the values may change. So, all the best. I'm sure you all will do well. I hope that everyone gets great marks. Whatever marks, how much effort you put, your marks will be equivalent to that. Please go through this and do share this channel, this videos to your friends who can benefit from it. And please do subscribe to my channel as well. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you guys and all the best for your exams.